And now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, representing in blue from Millikin University. Starting on the guard line of 5'5" junior for 3, Yanni Sadler. 5'5" senior guard number 10, Amy Tuba. The other guard, a 5'7" senior number 25, Devin Murray. A 1'4", 6'1" senior number 22, Gordon Moses. And the other forward, a 5'7" senior number 30, Corey Schultz. The Big Blue are coached by Lauren Harris, assistant by Joanna Powell-Bukowski, Andrea Dorsey, and Jason King.
Welcome into Gregory Arena, everybody. North Central versus Millikin. The Big Blue and the Cardinals match up next on NCTV 17. Hello, welcome everybody to this NCTV 17 production of Cardinal basketball. Should be a fun game tonight. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher, and this is a Cardinal team hunting for its second conference win of the season. What do they have to do against this Millikin Big Blue team?
Well, what they really need to do is start scoring the basketball. They have been struggling all season on offense. They're shooting about 32% from the field with only 24% from threes, and they really like to shoot the three. So it's going to come down to putting the ball in the basket.
Let's get to the actual game. The two teams are out on the floor, and we're just about set to go here on NCTV 17. Opening tip, punched out of bounds, and it belongs to the Big Blue. We'll have the first offensive possession of our contest tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Cardinals are coming off a disheartening loss to Carroll in which they put up only 43 points. They're going to have a much better offensive output in this one if they hope to win. It's Millikin getting off to a good start. A three from the corner opens up the scoring. Mason Whipple backs it out for Natalie Dimitrova. Let's get to the starting lineup, which was announced just a moment ago by PA announcer Lucas Mitzel. Whipple, a three, back of the iron, no good, and controlled by Millikin, who presents a lineup that looks like this. Yanni Sadler and Haley Tuhill are two of the guards. Lauren Moses and Devin Curry accompany Emily Schultz in the starting five. For the Cardinals, Mason Whipple, Lindsey Brennan, Michaela Reedy, 1 through 3. And the two bigs are Natalie Dimitrova and Maya Walls. Second offensive possession and a jump shot sunk. Nice shot there from Emily Schultz, and it gives the Big Blue a quick 5-0 lead. Millikin 0-5 in the conference, still looking for their first CCIW win. Cardinals are 1-3, however, own the worst overall win percentage in the conference. Controlling the basketball is Yanni Sadler. Over to Schultz, swung around. A chant from the Cardinal marching band for defense. Cardinals could use a little in the early going after giving up 2 straight buckets. Long three off the back of the glass and no good off the hands of Devin Curry. Now Lindsey Brennan racing up the floor and banks one home.
And that's going to be key all night. Lindsey Brennan, up until the break from the homestand prior to this year, Lindsey Brennan was doing extremely well for the Cardinals.
Seemed to be finding her groove right alongside Mason Whipple, who is well documented to have had some struggles earlier in the season. We started seeing her get maybe more in the flow of the action 6, 7, 8 games into the season, and now at this point she seems to be almost back to the Mason Whipple of old. Reedy a 3, and just like that, tie game.
For someone like Mason Whipple, what it really came down to was getting her confidence back up. Obviously coming off a big injury of the ACL, you're not all there mentally, and you really have a lot of hurdles to overcome to get back to the way that you feel you're able to play.
Sadler gets to the hole and right by Whipple for 2. Big Blue lead 7-5, 7:22 to go in the opening quarter. Dimitrova make that a Reedy 3, and 2 for 2 in the early going. Lofted pass is thrown out of bounds, and it belongs to North Central. That's what North Central wants to do, speed you up in transition and create havoc.
They love to do the full court press, and creating havoc is what that does. And that's what you, like you said, that's what you want, is those long outlet passes that cause early turnovers that some teams just don't need to force.
Good cut to the basket from Dimitrova, who gets fouled on her way. She'll go to the free throw line for 2. NCC quickly down 5-0 in this one, or on an 8-2 run. It could extend that here at the charity strike. And not right there.
The Cardinals need to stay aggressive early on and aggressive throughout, because their offense has just been struggling as of late, obviously coming off of only a 43-point outing, as you mentioned earlier, and their defense hasn't really backed them up either. So you have to do something on one side of the ball and figure it out, and offense wins you games at this point in the season. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Jumper is off the mark. Haley Tuhill with the miss, and here come the Cardinals, led by Mason Whipple. Thrown into the corner, Dimitrova. Reedy looking to go 3 for 3. Feed her the basketball.
Got to ride the hot hand, and it's going to be crucial if she can keep hitting from outside.
Good ball pressure from Lindsey Brennan, and that's last touched by North Central. Offensively, Millikin looks, for lack of a better term, verklempt. Just a little disorganized, it seems.
Yeah, a little bit stagnant on the offensive end here in the last couple possessions, but credit that to the aggressive defense by the Cardinals.
Instructions being barked out from the Cardinal bench by head coach Michelle Roof and assistant coach Mark Youngs. Defensively, after the first 2 possessions of the contest, the Cardinals to put the clamps down on a 12-2 run. Schultz dives into the lane. What a shot. Shrugs on her way back down the floor.
Yeah, great move there. Got the defender up in the air on the pump fake, and great body control to just keep a good shot up.
Dimitrova almost got the drive-by finger roll to go in, and now a wide open 3 put up. And bottom of the net, we are back to a tie game thanks to Haley Tuhill's 3-pointer. Whipple, nice shimmy off the glass and good. That is the Mason Whipple of old.
She is so great with the basketball, has great handles, great body control, and doesn't try and force anything when she has the basketball.
Good rebound from Lindsey Brennan. And she gets bumped from behind. A foul on Casey Summers. And that is the second foul on Millikin. And out of the game, Reedy, Whipple, and Dimitrova. But what a nice 5-minute stretch there for the starters who exit this game leading by 2. And early on it looked ugly because Millikin was so efficient from the floor.
Yeah, and it was great to see your starters bounce back like that, especially Reedy, who so far 3 from 3, or 3 of 3 from 3. So it'll be nice to see that, which is something the Cardinals have lacked this season so far, is success from downtown.
A whole lot of threes. Jess Dowley has to look another. Couldn't get a fourth. 4:45 to play, first quarter. North Central, Millikin matching up in a conference showdown. And a back down move and a left hand is good. That's put in by Jordan Hildebrand. Two-three defense employed by the Big Blue. Dump down underneath. Maya Walls converts the bucket and draws the foul.
And a 2-3 is a good defense to run. Makes you shoot the basketball. It forces the teams to shoot the basketball a lot more than they probably want, which, as we've mentioned multiple times, Cardinals have struggled to shoot from deep this season, but that's how you beat the 2-3. Lots of good ball movement and dive cuts.
Walls converts the three-point play. 17-14, 4:20 to go. Good opening quarter here inside Gregory Arena. Fast-paced, exciting action, and it's thrown away. Cardinal basketball. Pass intended for the point guard Sadler, a junior from Macomb, Illinois. That's an errant pass. Taken away by Schultz, and here comes Sadler. Into the open floor, now has to slow down to the half-court set. Cardinal with pressure defense around the horn. And that's tapped out of play by North Central. Big Blue will get it back, but keep in mind, 3 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, North Central doing a great job so far in the man-to-man defense. Really doing well, rotating, and a lot of good help defense.
In the corner, here comes the throw-in. It's going to have to be a quick shot. 1 second, and shot clock violation.
Got to be more aware if you're on the offensive end.
And a whistle will slow down play. 3:34 to go, opening quarter. Cardinals lead by 3 over the Big Blue. Dickerson hops into a 3, and they'll call her for a travel. Reset her feet after receiving the basketball.
Yeah, just unfortunate because that was right in her rhythm, and obviously she knocked it down, but you gotta, if you're gonna jump into your three-pointer like that, you have to catch the ball as you're moving.
Dickerson, I think you could accurately say the most rhythmic shooter on the team. The shot missed by Hildebrand and an offensive foul on her.
Oh yeah, Dickerson is very much a rhythm shooter. We've seen stretches of time where she'll put up threes and just find nothing but iron. And then there's times where she'll throw them up and it just seems like they go in no matter what.
Into the game is the backup point guard Hayden Braun as she steers traffic. Jess Dowley kicks it out back to Braun. She'll take the 3 off the side of the rim. Dickerson right there. Couldn't corral the offensive board into the hands of Sadler. She races up and it's poked away, but a foul call. And they'll call this a shooting foul. So she'll go to the line for 2. It's been a scoring drought over the last few minutes. Neither team has scored since just inside the 5-minute mark. That ends right here. Sadler hits the free throw, and checking into the game is Brianna Anthony, a sophomore guard. Sadler knocks down a pair, and it's a 1-point game. Braun gets out of the trap defense, and now the Cardinals have a man advantage. Outside, Dessenberg with a three. Elbows around, pulled down by Schultz. And Michelle Roof is going to usher Maya Walls and some of the other starters back into the game. 2:20 to go.
A little stagnant on offense, possibly wanting to get the offense going again by putting the starters back in. As we've seen in past games, the Cardinals get a little stagnant on offense from time to time.
Called for another travel is Dickerson, and Michelle Roof is looking for an explanation from the official. That one didn't look as obvious as the first.
No, it didn't, and you could obviously tell that she made the correction that she needed to. Just unfortunately, maybe too small of a correction.
Sadler with the ball in the backcourt. Handoff from Schultz back to Sadler, and with the left hand gets the friendly roll, and Big Blue have a 1-point lead. Outside, Dickerson. No travel that time. Whipple will take the three. Gives the Cardinals the lead right back. This game's a bit of a seesaw. Curry with it. Long pass to Schultz.
Got to get back on defense now.
Good recovery for North Central, and now Schultz is swamped. To the baseline, Hildebrand, a lot of contact, but no foul call. Whipple back with it. And a long pass to Dickerson, outside, swung around, Walls. No, it's Whipple for three, into the crux of the rim. Last touch by Millikin. Checking out Vickus and Dickerson. Back into the game is Brennan and Reedy. As a timeout is called by Millikin, we'll step aside with them. We'll be right back on NCTV 17 and on NCTV17.com. Minute 12 to go. And the Cardinals up by 2. Taken away by the Big Blue. Racing into the lane, and a blocking foul on Dimitrova as Anthony bulldozed into the lane. And she is rewarded for her effort.
Tough call there for the ref. Obviously on the outside looking in. It looks like a charge, but Dimitrova slid her feet a little bit at the last second, which caused it to be a block.
Into the game for the Big Blue, number 22, Lauren Moses.
1:02 to play. Cardinals lead by 2. North Central 3-10 this season, 1-3 in conference. Despite that, you talk to some of these players and coaches, and they're still optimistic that they could make the conference tournament. Have to get some things sorted out first, but a win tonight would be a big step in the right direction.
Absolutely, and that's really what they got to do at this point in the season. They got to start playing some better basketball and start stringing some wins together.
Lofted to Maya Walls to Reedy, and a travel called on Reedy. Turnover is a big part of the storyline in this first quarter for both teams. Toohill will bring it up. Working against a double team.
Got to be careful with the double team up at the top.
Almost knocked away by Whipple. Now pinballs around. Anthony claims it. Driving to the basket and smothered by Dimitrova. This one's whipped out. The three from Tuhill off the mark and taken away by Anthony. Reedy had it intermits. And it's going to be a last shot of the first quarter owned by Millikin. 13 seconds. Dump down underneath. And a travel or a three in the key. It's a three in the key called on Lauren Moses, and the Cardinals will have it with 6.5 seconds to go. Whipple gets the entry pass, 4 seconds, 3, 2, the three, off the mark, and that's how the first quarter will come to a close inside Gregory Arena. 20-18 after the first 10 minutes of play. A minute timeout, the second quarter right around the corner on NCTV 17 and on NCTV17.com. First 10 minutes up on the game clock, and the second quarter has begun inside Murner Fieldhouse and Gregory Arena on the campus of North Central College. Maya Walls will kick this quarter off, and it's a brick off the back of the iron. Controlled by Lindsey Brennan, the Cardinals will get a second chance if they can maintain possession, and it's a foul against Mason Whipple, who is scrambling to recover that loose ball. First team foul, second quarter. .9:40 to go. Kayla Reedy leading the way for NCC with 9 points thanks to 3 of 3 shooting from behind the arc in that opening quarter. Air ball off the bottom of the net for Devin Curry. And the North Central Cardinals racing back to the other end of the floor. Nice cut, Whipple. Floater off the glass is good.
Just got to keep attacking the basket. It's been working so far.
Stuck in the backcourt, and that is a 10-second violation on Sadler. And Lori Kierans, the head coach of the Big Blue, gets up and out of her seat following that one.
I would too if I was her. You don't see that call very often, but it is something that the Cardinals do force you to try and avoid with their press defense.
The shot, a wild-sided attempt from Rebecca Foley. And now Sadler trying to get up into the open floor. Spun around, and it's Curry for 3.
Curry from Curry range.
I would say so. Dimitrova from Dimitrova range. Just off the mark. That would have been perfect if she had hit. Down low, Moses pivots, and misses. And then commits the foul on Foley.
Good moves down in the post. Just unfortunately got a little too excited. Just not the right amount of touch.
We've seen a lot of great post play as of late from one of the resident basketball players here at North Central, Alex Sorensen, on the men's team, had a 54-point night, and a majority of those were some fantastic touch on display around the rim. I'm going to reset the shot clock to 30. I don't want to shortchange the Cardinals a second. It was a 29. But when we watch Alex Sorensen, it's that patience, the ability to feel what's around him, and also the ability not to panic. A pass to nobody out of the hands of Brennan, and a turnover for North Central.
And that's not really something you can teach. It's just, it kind of comes naturally to players to have that ability when you're in the post to be patient, know that you're in control of the basketball and not make those forced turnovers or mistakes.
Curry with it. Blocked by Walls, tipped around, into the lane, shot missed, and finally pulling down the rebound is Vickus. Whipple racing down the other way, over to Foley for three. Karam's off the rim and straight down into the hands of Curry. Batted away by Foley and out of play.
Returning for the Cardinals, number 11, Michaela Reedy.
Reedy checks back in, owner of three three-point field goals. Scoring pace has slowed down substantially over the last 5 minutes, including the end of the first quarter. No clear entry point into the lane, so the Big Blue have to dish it around the horn. Three taken off the mark and no good, out of the hands of Toohill. Walls spins it around Reedy. Cross court back to Whipple. Foley at the top, and the pass batted away by Sadler on the attempt to get it onto the block. Almost thrown away. Hildebrand then does. 2-on-2. Whipple and Walls as Whipple stops, pops, and drains.
Smart move by the senior there.
Long pass, Toohill. Good recovery for North Central as Curry steps into a three. Drains it, ties the game up at 24. Vickus will take a three as an answer. Can you hear me now? Good. There's another answer. 2-point play, could make it a 3-point play as Sadler hits the bucket and will go to the line for an extra.
That's only the third player on the Cardinals here tonight to have hit a three-pointer. We haven't seen much from anyone not named Michaela Reedy or Mason Whipple.
First shot attempt for Vickus on the night. Sadler's free throw, no good. Cardinals still lead by one as Braun has checked into the game. Tries to dump it down low and off the hand of Dimitrova and out of play. A lot of forcing the issue, it seems, on some of these pass attempts.
Yeah, but you gotta like the aggressiveness of North Central here. We've seen them become stagnant on offense a lot over the course of the season, especially in the second quarters and the third quarter. So in the middle quarters, they seem to struggle a bit. So it's nice to see the aggressiveness to try and get close shots.
Dolly strips it away. Braun with it. Drives to the basket. I don't know if that was intentionally behind the back or not, as Schultz goes to the rim and tries to spin it off the glass, and no good. Reedy, 2-on-2, running with Braun. Stops and throws it across, some miscommunication. Now coming down the other way. Sadler rattles it home to take the lead, 28-27, 5:05 to play, second quarter. Reedy thought about it. Instead, tosses it into the stands behind the backboard.
Cardinals need to stop trying and forcing the pass into the post. If you see an opening in the post, you don't immediately have to try and go for it. Work the ball around, try and enter it from one of the wings. It's not that important to get the ball down in the post that early in the shot clock.
Cardinals trail by 1 to the Big Blue as Millikin searches for its first conference win of the season. Long pass, tic-tac-toe passing. Hildebrand blocked by Dimitrova. Are they calling that a foul?
Quite a few calls here early on that I personally don't agree with.
Dimitrova's second, team's third in the second quarter. Michelle Roof pleading her case on the sideline right now as well.
That's why I'm up here and not down there.
Lead extended to 2. 29-27, Millikin leads with 4:40 to play in the first half of action inside Gregory Arena. Dolly kicks it out, wide open 3, Dessenberg takes the lead. Scratch that, make that a 2 as it's a tie game at 29. Long pass threads the needle, and Sierra Birdsell converts on the other end, taken away. Millikin with a twofer potentially on this end of the floor. Hildebrand knocked away and stripped away. Dolly. Brennan for the lead. In and out, no good. Pulling down the rebound is Dolly, and she's fouled. Whipple, the trigger man, gets it in. And the pass intercepted. That's Anthony on the break. And a blocking foul on Dessenberg, who hits the hardwood. Both players hitting the deck. Anthony will go to the line for 2.
It was a nice try there by Dessenberg to try and get her body in front of it after the Euro step. But just a little too much movement.
Two for 2 from the line, a 4-point lead for the Big Blue, their largest of the game. Over to Walls, she'll take a 3. Karam's off the rim. And time called on the floor. It looks like there's an injured player for Millikin, and a lost contact is my best guess.
Based on the searching the floor.
I'm hoping it's a contact and not a tooth.
Yeah, I agree.
Seeing as players are now checking the bottom of their shoes, I'm going to go with our first guess of a contact. Hopefully she has a spare.
Or some goggles.
It's one way to go.
There are players who still rock the basketball goggles.
Not many.
Not many.
Not many.
But they're still out there.
Do you ever rock the goggles? You speak almost from experience, it sounds like.
No, one of my buddies does.
Yeah?
I have perfect vision, so.
Oh, well, aren't you fancy? Must be nice. Inbounded to Schultz. 10-second violation could have been called. Was not. Shot clock was at 20. 4-point lead for the visitors. And the shot missed. Schultz gets the offensive rebound and runs right into Jess Dolly. Then a tie-up on the floor. And that belongs for the Big Blue. Good no call, though.
Yes.
As Schultz turned and tried to exit the post herself and just got a face full of jersey. Offensive foul and moving screen by Schultz.
Big blue fouls on number 30, Emily Schultz, her second. 13 foul.
3:07 to play, first half. Cardinals need to pick up the pace on offense. Let's see what Mason Whipple has in store. Tries to enter it to Walls. Outside Dessenberg congested at that elbow. Whipple goes to work outside Walls. Pettit gets tied up, and this time it'll belong to North Central.
Got to be smarter with the basketball. Right now, Cardinals making maybe one too many passes during their possessions on offense.
Shot clock violation. The Cardinals couldn't get it off.
Turning for the Cardinals, number 4, Hayden Braun, and number 31, Hayden Vickus.
Vickus back into the game. Owns a three-pointer tonight. Braun and Whipple along with Brennan. 3 potential point guards all on the floor for NCC. They could run this unit until the end of the half. Sadler races right into the lane, poked around a few times, then claimed by Whipple. Here she comes. Backs it out. Braun cues a 3. Perfect execution on the fast break from Mason Whipple and lack thereof on the defensive end as Millikin runs it right back up the floor.
And that's the unfortunate thing that the Cardinals have run into time and time again this season. They will have a good possession on the offensive end, and then they get a little too press heavy on the defensive end right afterwards, and they give up an easy basket like that.
Braun on the miss. That's kicked away and almost off the noggin of a cheerleader who's camped out on the baseline. That's a close call.
You got to stay alert down there.
Turning for the big blue, number 25, Devin Curry.
Inbounded to Hildenbrand. Anthony kicks outside. Nearly taken away, but a foul called. Should be on Braun.
Third foul, number 4, Hayden Braun, her second. Team 5th.
Bails out Millikin with just 4 seconds on the clock. The shot clock, I should say. 1:25 on the game clock.
Yeah, and in that kind of a situation, you're playing good defense already. You don't need to try and block the shot. Try and force them to make a good offensive choice and see if they can knock it down.
Pair of free throws cashed in by the Big Blue. 5-point lead. 80 seconds to go here in the first half. Whipple, a quick 3. Wow. From range and with no hesitation. Taken away by Whipple. Cardinals can pull even or take the lead on this possession.
You got a lot of time on the clock, so get a good possession here and maybe try and get a 2-for-1.
Cut by Walls, baseline, throws it off the glass and tie game at 37. Thrown in and barely gotten in by Millikin. Anthony with it, bounces into the lane. The shot too strong. Sadler controls, and Millikin can have the last shot of the first half. This one's all knotted up at 37. 20 seconds remain.
just need to be smart here on the defensive end.
Curry slips past a pair of defenders and banks it in. 2-point lead for the visitors, thrown ahead to Whipple. 5, 4, 3, 2, no good, and that is the end of the first half. Cardinals head into the break down by 2, 39-37. Big Blue with the lead. We'll take a 15-minute timeout. Join us for the second half, won't you? We're right here on NCTV 17. Welcome back for the second half of play from make that Gregory Arena. I almost said Benedetti Worley Stadium. Kevin Jackman, Zach Bucher as Sadler rolls home a lay-in.
Football season is long over.
Long gone. Cardinals and Big Blue in a good matchup tonight. A pair of bottom dwellers in the conference, both looking to gain their footing. And right now it's the Big Blue who have the advantage. Cardinals already with one conference win. The Big Blue still searching for their first. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Curry comes around a screen, and that screen was moving, and a whistle blows because of it. Second time Millikin has been called for that exact infraction tonight.
You gotta just, if you're gonna set a screen, you just gotta set it and make sure you hold your ground real strong.
Clock malfunction. And they'll put the shot clock and drain it about a second. Apparently it did not go right away. Handed off to Reedy, who is 3 for 3 from distance in that first half. A cluster on the near side gets sorted out. Hayden Braun goes to work outside Lindsey Brennan. Into the lane, puts a floater up, and it's partially tipped. Hildebrand slows it down. Curry with a jump shot, strong. Dimitrova the rebound ahead to Hayden Braun. Outside Walls, changes directions, into the lane, and good.
Good job going across her body and keeping her head towards the basket, giving her a good shot at it.
Long pass ahead. Dimitrova, the lone defender, back. Concedes the jump shot, and that was a smart choice.
Yeah, you always want to at least give a little bit on the jump shot. You'd rather give up a jump shot that has a much lower chance of going in than a layup.
Dimitrova misses from point blank. Now a 3-on-3 coming the other way. And having to slow this one down into the hands of Schultz, who takes the jumper and rattles it home. That's her forte. She's been so good at that for a while now. A senior from Groveland, Illinois. Has been a thorn in the Cardinals' side for years.
And continues to be.
Tough shot put up and put in by Hildebrand. Six-point lead is the biggest for the Big Blue and for either team tonight as Dimitrova aggressively dives to the basket. Too strong off the glass. Sadler to Schultz, and Schultz, Euro steps into the lane and gets the basket, and a timeout called by Michelle Roof. She wants to regroup. 3.5 minutes into the second half. The Cardinals trail by 8. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Following the timeout taken by North Central, Cardinals will have the basketball down by 8. It's been a very balanced scoring attack for the Big Blue tonight. Sadler leads the way with 14 points. Curry and Schultz both tied with 8, and Hildebrand with 7. All shooting around the 50% mark as Walls tiptoes the sideline, kicks it around. Wide open was Vickus on the block, puts it up, puts it in, and draws the foul.
Almost missed her, but good job to keep the head up and be able to get that pass through.
And Vickus to the line, incomplete. 3-point play.
Vickus already with 5 points tonight. Make that 6. Lead down to 5. Long pass into the hands of Sadler. Good feed down low, and it could have been a travel, and it is. Down low to Walls, kicks it out, wide open 3, Dolly, just barely off the mark. Thrown off the official, that's technically inbounds. Oh, wow. Jump ball goes to North Central, and
Jump ball belongs to the Cardinals.
that was all sorts of craziness on the floor for a second.
Yeah, that was great battle there by Dolly.
I don't know how somebody didn't get their knee mangled in that mess of bodies on the floor. That's a scary moment.
That's for sure.
Knocked out of play. Good diving effort from Haley Toohill. Offensive foul on North Central.
Offensive foul on the Cardinals, number 30, Maya Walls. First team foul for the quarter.
Talked a lot about it in the first half about some turnover struggles from the Cardinals, causing them to be a little stagnant on the offensive end. They're really going to need to cut down on those in the second half if they plan to come back in this game.
A miss by Sarah Bailey, and the Cardinals have it on the offensive end. 5:30 to go, third quarter. Walls has it stripped. Curry cannot convert but draws the foul. Brennan was running side by side, able to stop the basket, but will send her to the free throw line.
Second team foul. Devin Curry to the line, shooting 2.
Drains the first. Curry with a solid first half.
Also in for the Cardinals, number 34, Paige Dessenberg.
Trying to continue that strong play in the second.
Sierra Birdside.
Two for 2 from the free throw line. And Curry's having a pretty good season.
Yeah, she's leading this Big Blue team in scoring with 17 points right on the dot and shooting about 43% from the field and 39 from 3-point. So they really rely on her heavily. Although she is one of 3 starters to be scoring in double digits on average.
Alongside Schultz and Sadler. Tipped around a few times, finally pulled down by Summers, and now Sadler showing off the wheels once more. Speed demon on the floor. Sadler yanks the 3, strong with the shot clock winding down, but a good battle for it, and Anthony claims it. Lots of second chance opportunities for the Big Blue tonight.
And that's something that the Cardinals have struggled with here this season, is cutting down on those second chance opportunities.
Birdsell with a beautiful cut to the basket. Whipple with a beautiful shot from deep.
Can't give her that much room. She'll make you pay.
Off the body of Summers after being deflected by Dolly. That was a big defensive play for North Central.
Let's see if they can feed off of it.
Inbounded to Foley. Puts it behind the back with the left hand. Woo! Count the basket and the foul.
What a move.
13 foul. Back up Foley to the line.
That free throw should count. It was in the hands of Foley.
And the basket should count too.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, it did. And they will count it. One of the officials signaled for a substitution. And the buzzer inside Gregory Arena also rang. But Foley hit it nonetheless. Good concentration on her part.
Yeah.
And they'll give the Cardinals a three-point play. Curry pressured by Dessenberg with North Central trailing by just 3, who trailed by 9, not even 20 seconds ago. A 3 from Whipple, a turnover, and a three-point play. Have swung it right back the other way in favor of North Central.
And that's why coaches stress good defense and why the three-point shot has become so popular in today's game. It is such a game changer and a momentum shifter.
Anthony with the fall-away floater. Cardinals can tie. Whipple trying to burst past Sadler. Gets it into the hands of Foley. To the cut, and it's last touch by a Big Blue player.
Returning for the Cardinals, number 10, Lindsey Brennan.
Can't get sloppy now with the basketball. Having a good couple possessions these last few times down. Cardinals really need to make sure that they're smart with the basketball now.
Whipple outside Brennan. Nice shot fake into the lane. Looked like she might have been granted an extra step. Outside Whipple for the tie. What a game for Mason Whipple. 51 all, and a 5-second violation on the inbounds. Whipple up to 18 points.
Keep rolling with it. You got the momentum. Don't stop now.
2:55 to go, third quarter. 51-51. Inbounded to Brennan. Cardinals on a 9-0 run. Dimitrova with the basketball outside Whipple.
Got some time, be smart.
Dolly, nowhere to go with the basketball. Throws it across court. Brennan was behind Whipple. Back over to Dolly, 6 on the shot clock. And that's a travel.
Returning for the Cardinals, number 30, Hannah Wallace.
Slows the roll just a tad.
Yeah, the Cardinals were trying to do a little too much there on the offensive, that possession. Just too many passes, not enough aggressiveness.
Sadler reverses course. Now comes across a pair of screens. Long pass. Summers travels. With all the miles these two teams are racking up traveling, they're going to have a free trip to Hawaii coming up.
Hopefully they'll take us with.
I'll accept that. Brennan gets the screen from Dimitrova over to Walls. Down low Dimitrova, and a foul. Oh no, 3 in the key. Spent a little too long in the painted area.
Took too long trying to get her the ball. She had pretty good post position. Got to be a little quicker with that if you're going to get it to her.
Sadler nearly had it taken away by Whipple. Minute 45 to play, third quarter. Good post position, blocked. Dimitrova simply took it away from Hildebrand. Now she'll try and stick it to her. Good defense though. And a long step and a foul on the shot attempt. These players have been getting away with that extra step tonight. Sometimes you have that called, sometimes you don't. And in a game when there's been a bevy of traveling calls, I'm surprised that isn't getting a whistle.
Yeah, it's one of those weird calls that when you're watching the game, it looks like it should be a travel. But, I mean, when you have your pivot foot, you get at least one step's worth of space as long as you keep that pivot foot. So if you're jumping off of the pivot foot, it's not technically a travel.
Dimitrova gives the Cardinals the lead, 53-51. Minute to play in the quarter. Schultz behind the defense, easy conversion. A defensive lapse allows the longtime Big Blue scorer to do what she does best. Score.
Oh, that's what she does best?
I think so. Knocked out of bounds. Still Cardinal basketball is Andrea Dickerson into the game. Dimitrova with a size advantage cannot get the basketball to go in, and then a foul on Dickerson. And that will be the fourth Cardinal foul. Next one will put the Big Blue on the free throw line.
You know, we talked about patience in the post a lot in the first half, and that's something that perhaps Dimitrova needs to improve on. She had the size advantage. She didn't need to try and do too much with the ball there.
Kick ball. Inbounded and stuck over to Curry, and should have been a 10-second violation. Able to get the friendly roll. Millikin up 2. Whipple for the tie. 5 seconds remaining.
No foul.
Toohill throws up a desperation shot. A foul called on North Central. Dickerson draws a foul, and Toohill will go to the line with time having already expired. No good on the first. Millikin takes a 1-point lead after 3, 56-55. We'll be back for the fourth quarter in just a second on NCTV 17. Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackman alongside Zach Bucher. Fourth quarter of play is coming up in just a second. North Central has been battling to continue to climb to within a few points of Millikin. They've had the lead a few times. What do they have to do to close this game out?
Well, they really got to step it up on the defensive end. They've done a really good job so far, but you can never have too much defense, and they just need to ride the hot hand that is Mason Whipple.
Foul, make that a travel call on Millikin. And just like that, the trend continues into the fourth quarter of play. 56-55. North Central trailing by 1. And make that leading by 1 with Mason Whipple just playing out of her mind tonight. She's up to 22.
I think it's something in the air.
It must be.
Here in Gregory Arena.
Need a little Peter Gabriel. Feel it in the air tonight. Sorensen with 54. Whipple working on a potential 30-point game and a foul called on Vickus.
And let's not forget about the 36-point game Connor Raritan had a few weeks back.
Also very true. Curry leaves the shot short, and it's last touch by Moses. .9:12 to play in this game. Cardinals really need this win. Millikin, without a win in conference, they're 0-5. Whipple kicks Brennan a 3. No. Schultz down low, Moses, and a travel called on Moses. Around and around we go.
I don't know if I saw one there, but the Cardinals will take it, that's for sure.
Millikin's biggest lead was midway through that third quarter, 9 points. Whipple a 3 and off the mark, and Braun able to collect the offensive board. Back to Whipple. Outside Braun. Braun outside Maya Walls for 3, no. And an offensive foul on North Central. Cardinals' biggest lead was 5. And that was when the game was 12-7. It's a long time ago. Schultz down low, Hildebrand pings off of Vickus and has to kick it out. Blocked by Vickus. Last touched by Hildebrand and out of play. Big time block.
Great defense here in the last few possessions by the Cardinals. And like I mentioned, that's what they're going to need to do here in this fourth quarter to keep themselves in the lead and bring home this W.
Whipple, little jump shot into the lane. 24 points for the senior guard. Three, no. Rebound fought for, now Sadler will take it. Again too strong, and an offensive foul on Hildebrand.
Big clear foul, number 23, Jordan Hildebrand, her third. First team.
Mason Whipple, 10 of 16 from the floor, 4 of 9 from behind the arc. Also has 4 assists. Been very good tonight.
And she's doing it efficiently as well. Not taking too many shots, but also making a lot of the shots that she is taking.
Can't connect there. Her career high is 29, so she's 5 away from tying that. Curry to the basket, fouled on her way there. Bumped on top of the noggin. That's Vickus's 4th and the team's 3rd already in this fourth quarter.
Devin Curry to the line, shooting 2.
Hits the first.
Turning to the Cardinals, number 22, Natalie Dimitrova, number 11, Michaela Feedy. Turning to the Big Blue, number 22,
7:16 to go.
number 11, Brianna Anthony.
Cardinals lead by 2, pending the final free throw from Curry. One-point affair. Inbounded to Braun. Whipple not on the floor. Michaela Reedy into the game. Hasn't taken a shot since the first quarter, in which she hit 3 three-pointers.
That's pretty strange, if you ask me. I would feel like on offense, if you're performing pretty well, the coach would want to get you the ball more times than not.
Braun travels.
Traveling violation, Big Blue ball.
Millikin gets it across. Stripped away. Dimitrova fights for it, throws it into the hands of Anthony, and nobody playing safety. And that gives the Big Blue their first lead of the fourth quarter, 60-59.
I know in that kind of a situation, you don't really maybe want to blow a timeout, but if you get a big steal like that, if you're Dimitrova and you're falling to the floor, don't be afraid to call a timeout.
Blocked by Moses.
Turning to the Big Blue, number 3, Anya Sandler.
Looked like Dimitrova had good positioning in the post. Moses recovered in a hurry. And just like that, Mason Whipple back into the game.
I can't imagine that you'll see Whipple on the bench very often here in the last 6 minutes or so.
Long pass, Brennan pulls the 3. Knocks it down to give the Cardinals a 2-point lead. Lofted pass, Whipple with it. Can they widen their lead with under 6 to play in the fourth? Whipple step back for 3. Oh, Mason Whipple now with 27 points. Out of bounds, last touch by North Central. Timeout taken, a full timeout, and Mason Whipple continues to feel it from the floor. 27 points, 5 of 11 from 3. We'll step aside. We'll be back in a minute on NCTV 17. Mason Whipple continues to play at an absurdly high level tonight, connecting on 45% of her three-pointers and 61% overall from the floor. Hail Mary pass to Sadler coming out of the timeout. Well-designed play for the Big Blue and head coach Lori Cairns. Gets him back to within 3. Natalie Dimitrova for 3. 6-point lead, the largest of the game for North Central.
I talked a lot about it at the beginning of the game that this team has struggled with the three-point shot, but when they are making their three-pointers, they are very dangerous.
Whipple able to keep it in bounds with the handles. 3-on-1, Reedy for 3. inside Gregory Arena. Turnover. Dimitrova to the hole. Blocking foul. She'll go to the line for 2.
Ooh, man.
Second team foul. Natalie Dimitrova to the line.
That is easily some of the most exciting basketball we've seen from this team over the last few possessions here.
That's a fun stretch of play for North Central.
And something they have desperately needed, I think, for this after how they've been performing this season.
Shooting is contagious, isn't it?
Yes. Although Michaela Reedy had made all of her shots up to that point and still has.
She's 4 for 4, 12 points. Keep in mind, by the way, Lindsey Brennan has a 3-pointer here in the 4th quarter, a big one of that. Just her second 3-point field goal of the season.
Wow.
That's the kind of quarter the Cardinals are having right now. They trailed by 9 midway through the 3rd quarter. They now lead by 10. Curry draws a foul.
And you're going to see Millikin probably turn a lot to Curry right now. 4.5 minutes left in the game, and she's been a very big offensive burst for this team here tonight.
3rd foul on Dimitrova, the 4th team foul on North Central. First is good. Back to a single-digit lead for NCC. Connects on a big pair of free throws. 8-point game. Keep in mind, Whipple is 2 points away from tying her career high. Thought that might have been it. Instead, it's Reedy with the putback.
And you can tell that, even though that shot didn't go in, you can tell that Mason Whipple has a lot of confidence tonight. She's very direct in her offensive approach, and her step backs, she is being very decisive about taking that jumper.
Outside, batted away by Whipple with 4 seconds on the shot clock. Inbounded, down low. Hildebrand throws it off the side of the backboard. Reedy the rebound, and she leads the break. Nearly throws it away. Into the backcourt, it was tipped. And a foul on Whipple, who was over the back of Sadler. Sadler will go to the free throw line with the Cardinals now into bonus. 3:36 to play.
Yanni Sadler to the line, shooting 2.
One of 2 from the free throw line. Dimitrova nearly had it stripped away. This time it's batted up in the air. Schultz got a hand on it. Out of bounds.
Got to be smart with your passing now, because Millikin defense is probably going to try and deny the ball to Mason Whipple.
I think that might be a smart move there, Cotton.
It's a bold strategy.
Inbounded to Whipple. Was 4 on 5 for a moment. Cardinals will waste some time, up by 9.
And if they're going to do this, they got to make sure that they have a good possession, smart shots, don't want to force anything.
Foul. I believe that was Schultz or Curry who drew it. Now they'll put this on Curry, the 4th team foul on Millikin. Gives the Cardinals a fresh shot clock with 3:11 to play. It's almost better than a made basket.
Especially at this point in the game.
On the shot clock. Whipple stalling, gets a high screen, goes against the grain, kicks it out, walls for three, off the mark. Everybody whiffed on the rebound attempt, and a jump ball, Cardinal basketball. So another 30 seconds or so will drip off the clock in a moment. You expect with the Cardinals playing a wait and see type of offense.
Yeah, everything going right over these last minute and 30 seconds almost now for the Cardinals.
Foul on Schultz. Her third, the team's fourth. I thought that was already the fourth. I thought they were now into bonus, but that may not be the case. Inbounded to Whipple. Had an avenue, and now she'll go baseline, and a foul on Curry. And now Whipple goes to the line for two. 2:31 to play. The Cardinals can add to this lead. They lead by 9. North Central 3-10 this year. They're 1-3 in conference, coming off a tough loss to Carroll. The game they really would have liked to have won. You like to win all of them, but that was a manageable game for North Central and just couldn't put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, only losing in that game by, what was it, 9 points. So, I mean, like you said, it was a very manageable game. The offense just didn't show up.
Timeout, North Central after the steal. They'll inbound this up 11, a 30-second timeout. Just a simple factor of sometimes they go cold. They went cold against Carroll, as evident by the 43 points. They've gone cold before, including losses against Illinois Wesleyan. They scored 47. Against Stevens Point, they scored 44. But then there's these offensive outbursts like tonight, 76 points. And a win against Keene, they scored 83. It was more routine for them to be putting up these point totals in the last few years with a running gun style offense. But this year, still trying to get adapted to this style of play, this hybrid of a traditional basketball style and the Grinnell style. It seems like they're getting there. At least they need to just find consistency.
Yes, and we've been preaching that almost all season. Consistency has been a big no-show for this team so far this season. As you mentioned, it seems like, especially in this game, we're almost midway through the season, they're starting to click. They're starting to figure it out. Obviously, this team doesn't have a bunch of shooters, but these girls are finding a way to get the ball in the basket here tonight. And now they just got to take this and run with it and try and transfer it into down the stretch.
Whipple with a 29-point night that ties her career high. She's on the floor right now. Gets the inbound pass. Hands it off to Brennan. Outside, Reedy, already 4 for 4. Oh my goodness! Are you kidding me?
5 for 5.
She's got a GPS in the basketball. Ahead to Sadler. Bounce pass to Schultz. Schultz falls down, and a foul on North Central. Not sure who that's on. Reedy, otherworldly. 5 for 5 from 3, 6 for 6 overall.
It's incredible that she's not seeing more play in the offense. Obviously, with Mason Whipple having the night that she's having, you really didn't need her to. But her 17 points have turned this game into an incredible showing for the Cardinals here tonight.
17 points, 6 rebounds for Reedy, 29 points, 6 assists for Whipple. Those two have been fantastic. 2 of the only seniors on this team. Make that the only 2 seniors on this team.
And I feel like that's something that this team has been searching for all season long. They've been very inconsistent, as we've mentioned, and they're still a very young team. So it's up to these two seniors to step up and show the rest of the team that, hey, we can do this.
Walls will go to the free throw line for 2. Reedy on the bench. I'm sure she's not thinking about this, but boy, would it be nice to finish the game 6 for 6 and 5 for 5 from distance. As a shooter, there's no better feeling than that.
And it's not something you see very often either.
Especially from a sharpshooter, as in somebody who takes a lot of threes. 13-point lead for North Central. Minute 45 to go. Curry a 3. Drains it. And a timeout taken by Cairns. Millikin will talk it over. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the other side on NCTV 17. $1:41 to play. North Central with the basketball up by 10, 80-70. And a foul away from the basketball. And Hayden Braun will shoot free throws.
We've seen the Cardinals struggle from the free throw line so far this season. And with 1:41 left, these are going to be some very crucial free throws.
58% as a team this year. Braun hits the first. Now, those are numbers that you certainly don't want to see. Tonight, they have shot 64%, so a small improvement, but not a substantial one. You want to be around 70%. You'd like it higher than that, but that is probably the bar that, at a minimum, you'd like to reach. Braun helping the Cardinals extend that lead to 12. 82-70. Inbounded to Summers. And over to Curry. Back to Summers. Curry doing some of the heavy lifting down the stretch. Scoops, cannot score. Dimitrova the rebound, and Whipple is hacked. And now her turn at the charity stripe, and with one make, she will set a new career high, and for the first time, reach the 30-point plateau in a game.
To the line. Shooting 2.
And there it is, 30 points for Mason Whipple, a new career high.
And that's got to feel real good for her personally, especially coming off of the ACL injury last year.
Knocks down a pair to give the Cardinals a 14-point lead. So how about this? 11 of 19, 5 of 11 from the three-point line, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 3 steals, and just 2 turnovers for a guard who had the ball in her hands a lot in this game.
Yeah, that's fantastic. If you're Michelle Roof, you love to see that your star senior player, watch her come out here and perform the way she has with the ball in her hand so frequently.
There is a confusion that has set in. Cardinals have made 2 substitutions. Curry has come out with 4 fouls. As the delay is over, and now Sadler trying to race up the floor. Gets a hard screen from Schultz, takes a jump shot, and finds the bottom of the twine. Inbounded to Whipple. Oh, my. Just the handles that she has had on display tonight have been impressive, let alone the shooting. Chance to add even more out of the ledger.
Shooting 2.
Yeah, and at the end of the night, she's going to have to feel pretty good about the way she came out here and performed. Obviously, a very key game for this Cardinal team. 3-10 overall. Hopefully at the end of this, 4-10. You want to start trending in the right direction if you have any hopes of getting into the conference tournament.
Oh, there goes the perfect night at the free throw line for Whipple, but still 32 points. 85-72, down low to Schultz, spins and deals and connects. 11-point game and a timeout taken with 1 minute and a second remaining. 30-second break, so we'll keep it right here. Cardinals technically are still winning. They've had their difficulties, they've had their rough stretches, their dry spells from behind the arc. They've dealt with all of this stuff. If they can turn it around, they still have some time to make the conference tournament. You look at this upcoming slate of games, a win tonight you would expect with the lead at 11 and just a minute to go. Wheaton comes to town on Saturday. That's going to be a really tough test with Wheaton, one of the top teams in conference at 9-4 overall. But after that, Augustana, Elmhurst, and Illinois Wesleyan on the road, you want to get at least 1 or 2 of those games. And if you do that, you're right in the thick of the conference race.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, this Cardinal team started the season 0-5, not playing good or great basketball. And they get their first win in overtime. And then they have a couple of rough patches of games over the next couple. And then they win again. So ever since their first win, this Cardinal team has kind of got something going. And so they haven't really strung together a bunch of losses. They're finding ways to win basketball games and prevent themselves from digging themselves a deeper hole.
Braun at the free throw line. Cannot hit the first. Yeah, since opening up the season 0-5, they've alternated between a win and 2 losses, a win and 2 losses, a win, 1 loss, and they can buck that trend tonight with a completion of a victory over Millikin. Empty trip to the free throw line as Sadler comes flying up the floor and puts the basketball in the hoop. 9-point game. Hey, this thing isn't over. 47 seconds remaining. And a timeout taken by Coach Michelle Roof.
Timeout North Central.
We'll take a timeout with them. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Cardinals have 47 seconds to waste. Foley gets the inbound and gives it over to Reedy. Reedy will try and waste some time, and she gets fouled by Sadler. And we'll go to the free throw line.
Michaela Reedy to the line. Shooting 2.
Now, what's at stake for this trip to the line for Reedy? Well, a perfect shooting night. Keeps that going right there with a rattled home free throw. Heard a little woo from somebody in the crowd. Somebody's pulling for her to remain perfect. Good for now. 11-point game as Dimitrova checks in and Rebecca Foley out. Anthony weaving in and out, stops on a dime, and now gives the basketball up to Walls. Walls to Dimitrova, over to Whipple, and Whipple gets slashed by Sadler, and that'll basically do it. An 11-point game with a half a minute remaining, and the Cardinals will move to 4-10 on the season, 2-3 in the conference. A really big win, and it didn't look like this was going to be the case in the third quarter. 4 minutes ago in the third quarter, they were trailing by 9. Got a three-pointer, got a three-point play, got another three-point play to tie that game up at 51, and then it's been all North Central from there. All it takes is a spark sometimes.
Yeah, and we've talked about it earlier in the season. This Cardinal offense has gone stretches where they just can't get anything going on the offensive end. They'll get those sparks, but then they'll make a few bad turnovers or bad play on another offensive possession, and they just lose it altogether. So it was nice for them to come in here tonight, find that spark, and run with it the rest of the game.
17.9 seconds remaining. Mason Whipple will go to the free throw line again after connecting on a pair. She's up to 34 points, I believe. Now 35. Tonight, the highest point total for the Cardinals this season. The previous high was an 81-point win against Carthage, but that was in overtime. As Whipple hits a pair and is up to 36, and she'll check out and deserves a standing ovation for her performance this evening. 36 points. What a game. 15 seconds to go. Curry lofts a three, well short, rattles around, and Reedy with it. And no foul. All they have to do is get it across the timeline. They do, and the Cardinals have won this basketball game. They're now 2-3 in conference thanks to the hot shooting of those two girls right there, Michaela Reedy and Mason Whipple, who's all smiles right now. 91-78 the final. Big performance from the Cardinals.
Yeah, and I would be all smiles too after a 36-point outing. I mentioned it earlier, it must be something in the air here at Gregory Arena. We've had quite a few offensive bursts from our Cardinal teams here in the last 2 weeks or so, but it was so big for both seniors, Michaela Reedy and Mason Whipple, to come out here tonight and say, hey, I'm going to make a statement. We are North Central. We can play this game and we can beat anybody.
They did just that. A 13-point victory, and the Cardinals move to 2-3 in conference. They're still alive, folks. That'll do it for us. Caleb Donaldson, our studio producer, our on-site cameraman and producer, Gabriel McDonough, alongside Zach Bucher. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you in a couple of days. Wheaton comes to town for a doubleheader on Saturday. We'll see you then. 5 o'clock the tip-off for the women, 7 for the men. I'm Kevin Jackman. We'll see you next time on NCTV 17 and on NCTV17.com.